Hi, my name is Aerica Karriem, your joint venture connection coach, where I teach you all the ins and outs of how to get people to say yes to promote you so that you can increase your exposure and multiply your income. Today, I have a special guest with me, Eiji Morishita. He is the authority genius. He is the CEO of Genius Squared and founder of Genius Millionaire Academy. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be here with you, Erica.
Thank you so much for coming on with me. Now, what exactly is Genius Squared?
Well, Genius Squared is the company that I created, and it came to me. Just woke up one night and it's like, got it. What's the name of my company? I knew it was based on genius, but also the squared is about exponential growth. And in life, in math and theory, 1 + 1 = 2, but also in nature, like with animals, 1 + 1 = 3. So I'll give you an example. Is when one horse can pull 500 pounds of weight, but when two horses come together and pull together, they pull 3 times as much at 1,500. That's why 1 + 1 = 3. But the neat thing about humans is 1 + 1 = 22. And what I mean is it comes from both a practical and also a spiritual. When two people come together and fully give to each other, so person A gives 100% to support person B supports 100% to give to person A gets 100% of B's effort, which is 1, and 10 times, like the law of tithing, 10 times what they give out back from the universe. And so person A gets 11, person B gets 11, and 1 + 1 = 22 in the genius world. How that works in real life is, Erica, have you ever gotten stuck and you're all by yourself in your life? It's like usually when we get stuck, it's because we're doing it all by ourselves. And so the beauty of it is when two people come together, one person gets stuck in a hole, guess what? The other person can pull them up and get them out of the hole. Then guess what happens? The other person gets stuck in the hole, they pull them up and get them out. Because when we're stuck, we make zero progress. We get zero results. And the beauty is we can pull each other up so we don't stay stuck as long, but also when we're both moving forward, we can push each other and say, hey, let's go faster, let's do this, let's go further. And so that's how we could get a lot more done by having a partnership, by having collaborative where you get exponential growth. So genius is really about a level of performance, but also surrounding yourself with someone so that you don't get stuck, because we have to do it ourselves, but we don't have to go it alone.
That's right. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. That's right. So I heard you time and time again, and you're always saying, design your life around your purpose. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, design your life. Everything should be around your purpose, which is part of your genius. Your purpose is why you are here on earth, why you came. Everything has happened for a reason. And the truth is, you knew everything you needed to know the moment you were born. And it's not about adding more stuff to inside you. It's more about bringing more of you to the outside, bringing that out. And your genius is a core part of your purpose. I mean, we all have our life purpose and we got to design it around it. And so that in life, it's like when we're inside our genius energy, when we're outside our genius, it drains our energy. And what we need to do is, or what I recommend people to do, and invite people on this who's listening now, is to design your life around your purpose, around your genius, so you do only what you're a genius at, and then have other people do what they're a genius at, because for a lot of entrepreneurs, Technical work isn't their genius. Admin work isn't their genius. And you know what? And bookkeeping and finances isn't their genius. And you know what? There are people out there in the world who actually love numbers, who actually love coding, who actually love doing paperwork or creating, papers or workbooks or whatever, and they love to do it. That's their genius. That's their purpose. So designing your life around your purpose. But when it comes down to it, is we all live a similar purpose. There's only 4 actions of life purpose that we all live. How we deliver it is unique to us, and we only have to do 4 things. The 4 things is, number 1 is just to love people, to love. No, we're born here to love people. Number 2 is to live, to enjoy life. Number 3 is to grow, to expand, to be the best we can be. And number 4 is to give. So we're here to give and make a difference and make an impact on the world, other people, our family. And so it's to love, to live, to grow, and to give. And those are the 4 core actions. How we choose to live our purpose is unique to us. And sometimes, and most often, that sometimes it's not by choice. Sometimes we're almost feeling compelled or called to do something. That's why people call it a calling. People don't, and usually callings aren't just something like, yes, I want to do this, but it feels like because of the gifts we're given, it's our responsibility to move forward into it. And that's how we can make the biggest impact in the world.
Great. That is awesome. Okay, now, what is your unique, priceless solution? I've heard you say that. You need to know your unique, priceless solution. So what is that?
Yeah, that's something that I coined and trademarked, because people say you got to find your unique selling proposition, but it's really about unique, priceless solution. And business is very easy. You really only have to know 2 things. Number 1 is what's your unique, priceless solution, which I'll share with you in a moment. What is it that you provide that your clients, your audience will consider priceless? When it's priceless, how much are they willing to pay for it? They'll pay whatever it takes, right? Even if they have the money, or if they don't have the money, they'll come up with the money. Because I know you work with a lot of teens, and if you told a parent, what would it be worth to you if you can save your teen from committing suicide? It would be priceless, right? What would it be worth for you for business owners? What would it be worth for you if you could take all the stuff that bugs you, that drains your energies off your plate, so that you can double, triple, quadruple your income, or more importantly, like maybe set you financially free so you can spend more time with your family? That would be priceless. And so number 1 is finding out what is the solution that your clients consider priceless. That means that they'll pay anything for. I've had clients who literally didn't have any money, less than maybe less than $100 in their bank account, and then because what I shared with them was priceless, they found the money to invest into a $5,000 program, another person into an $18,000 program, and they didn't have the money before, but they found a way, because what was priceless to them was so important. They figured out a way to get the money. The second piece is, number 1 is find your unique, priceless solution. What's your unique solution that people pay anything for? And number 2 is find the people who can easily afford your services. And that way, people who can easily afford your services will pay whatever it takes to hire you. And if it's something that you want to serve, and I know a lot of people and some people in the audience want to say, well, I want to just reach out to a masses and help as many people as I can. Great. I feel the exact same way. So find the people who can easily afford your services, so you put yourself in financial abundance. That way you can give away those services to those who can't afford it. You could create a foundation. You can create some sort of organization that can give it away to those who can't, and you can still serve those who want it as well. So, because it really, the more stable you are financially, the more abundant you are financially, the more you can give. And one of the things I love is working with people who are, already in the mid to high 6 figures, even 7 figures, where they have the time, they have the money. Now they want to create a legacy. They want to create a legacy where they want to have meaning for their life and make an impact and have something leaves last beyond their years. So, that's why unique priceless solution is so important. And it's something that once you discover what it is, you can charge whatever you want. And one of the things for one of my unique priceless solutions is helping people find theirs, but also finding their genius in terms of what makes you number one in the world, what makes you stand out. I mean, even back here it says, stop fitting in, start standing out, and it's time to live your genius, design it around your purpose and your genius, and then start speaking your genius as well. So that's what I'm passionate about.
Okay, wonderful. Now, you teach people how to speak, and there are a ton of coaches and consultants out there. But when you say, "Hey, I want to put you on a stage," they literally want to throw up on you because they're so afraid. Now, how do you overcome that?
Well, if you ever are near one of those people, you stand away first so you don't get any junk on your clothes, and then you get your distance.
Right.
But how do you overcome that fear? And one is knowing what to say, but two is really comes down to not making it about yourself. Okay. The reason why people are so afraid or have fear is they think, what are people going to think about me? What if I mess up? What if I freeze on stage? So part of that is patient, but second is making it about, my belief is if you come from your heart and of what your true purpose is, and also if you come from a place of service and you give to the audience and you focus on giving versus taking, you can't do any wrong. People can really feel that. People can really feel when you're just there to support and serve the audience, and you don't make it about you. It really comes from making it about yourself. And if you come from a place of service, the fear goes away. One secret is really to just imagine the people you love most and connecting with them in the audience, and you'll have supporters, you'll have cheerleaders. Because think about it, you and I, we met at an event, but how would you don't want to see a speaker really flail and flounder up on stage. If you're in the audience, you don't want to see them like just freeze and stuff, because you're in the audience to get what you came here to get, and you don't want to see the speaker suck or be horrible or freeze and think about themselves. You want to support them so that they could give you the information you came here to get. So for the most part, the audience is really supportive, because imagine you being in the audience, you're not judging them, I'm better than that or whatever. You're saying, here, I just want you to be good enough so you give me what I need to take my business or take my life to the next level. Right.
And that's what I teach. We all have flaws. And so don't worry about what you have. Give, and that's what we're here to do, is give. I love what you said. Just give. Okay, now, some people are wanting speaking engagements. Can you tell me, my audience, give me like 2 things on how to get a speaking engagement? What type of things do they need to have in place?
Yes, absolutely. And so we cover that at our Speak Your Genius Breakthrough Experience, and I'll give you 2 tips to help you get more speaking engagements. The number one thing you can do, and it sounds really super simple, however most people overlook it, is let people know you're a speaker. When people ask you what you do, you say, hi, well, I'm a speaker and I help whoever you help, right? So if the first thing is you put yourself and say, let people know you're a speaker, and then if they have a group or organization, great, I like you, I'd like to have you come over and speak for my audience. So number one is let people know you're a speaker. If you're not letting people know you're a speaker, your odds of getting speaking engagements are a lot less. And so whenever I teach my clients, it's like first thing you say is I'm a speaker, and then share what you do. And that's a critical part. Number one is share your speaker, because then people hear that, and also the beauty of by sharing your speaker, you already elevate your status right away. Because if you're a speaker on a subject, it already presupposes that you know your stuff, because you can't speak on a subject that you don't know. It's very tough. So if you speak on the topic of marketing or the topic of SEO or the topic of parenting or the topic of building connections, you have to have a certain level of knowledge to be able to speak on it. So that's number one, is to let people know you are a speaker. And whenever you ask, always say, I'm a speaker, and what you do. So second is following up when you meet people and organizations. This is a key thing, is I have it may not be so secret, but one of the things is this will help, is whenever you meet someone, the second tip, and if all you do is these two things, you should double, triple your speaking engagements, or at least this will help you get a few, is to ask. And let me share with you in a story. I was at a MIT kind of business kind of conference or so. MIT at Caltech is like an entrepreneur and technology conference. And I met some grad students from UCLA, and we just had a chat. And it's like great, built a connection. And then we got a follow-up email they did student events and stuff. And I had an intention even before. I said, I've spoken in front of many groups, businesses, different things, but I've never spoken in front of a university. So it's like, okay, well, that'll be cool. I want to add speaking to a school. And so I meet these MBA students, and then later on we exchange some emails saying, yeah, we'd like you to come visit UCLA Anderson School, which is a top 20 MBA program in the country. And I said, yeah, sure, I would love to visit. And here's the magic quote. The magic quote is, hey, I let them know I'm a speaker. If you ever would like me to guest speak, I'd be happy to do so at no cost. Let me repeat that. So if you ever like me to guest speak, I'd be happy to do so at no cost. Now, that's not me begging or asking for a speaking engagement. It's really giving them a gift. And by saying I'd be happy to speak at no cost, it assumes I get paid to speak, which I do. But even if I didn't, it's the truth, because I'd be happy to speak there at no cost, because my goal was to get a university credential. So a couple weeks later, Entrepreneur Week at UCLA's MBA program, and they asked me to come and speak and moderate a discussion on international business. So we did that. It was great. It was considered one of the best classes or discussions of the whole event, because we talked about real life experience, not just book knowledge, because you can read a book on how to ride a bike, but it won't help you until you get on. So from real life experience, of my experience and other people's experience. But really now it's like I could say I spoke in front of the MBA program at UCLA, and it all came from that phrase. So if you meet someone with an organization, follow up and put it, and you could say that in person if you meet someone, or you say it in an email, and that's like $1 million nugget right there.
Yes,
and help you.
Yes. Okay, now, what are some ways you can tell a speaker to connect with their audience?
Great. And that's something that I'm known for as being one of the best in the industry at. Anyone who's attended my events, I'm really connected to the audience. And it all starts with eye contact. It all starts with eye contact. And eyes are like the windows to the soul. And it's not about making connection like a sprinkler saying, I got to make contact with every person in the room and go, but you really want to just connect. And the distinction is when you connect with one person, you connect with all. If you build a deep connection with one person, people can feel that connection. And what most speakers mistake is they usually look above, or look off to the side, or look down, or look away, and that breaks the connection versus looking directly into the person's eye. And you really only have to connect with people. And here's a tip that Ronald Reagan loved in time. And regardless of the politics or what he did, a lot of people loved him because he reminded people of the grandpa that you liked. And his secret was when he spoke in the camera, he imagined that he was speaking to his granddaughter. who he loved dearly, and the economy wasn't doing so well in the 80s after Carter, and he spoke to the American audience as if he spoke to his granddaughter who just fell off her bike and skinned her knee, and saying, yes, I know it hurts. And really that love was felt. So even if you were liberal Democrat, they still liked the guy. Maybe not his policies, but they liked him because of that. So when you're in your audience, imagine the people you love most, and then send that same energy and that love to your audience, and they can feel that. So that's the number one way of connecting with your audience, is through the eyes. The second way is to use their first name. So that's why you want name tags that are in just first name only, big, bright, so you could say, isn't that right, Mike? Or Susan, when I experienced this. And then because our first name is music to our ears. Whenever we hear our first name, it gets our attention. And so if we can use that in our presentation, you're golden. It's a key technique that elite speakers use to connect with the audience. And third piece, because I usually do things in threes, is the best speakers out there, they connect with their audience before the event happens or off to the side, and they be real. So I was at an event where Les Brown came up to me and said, hey Eiji, I've been following you, and I can learn from you. And Les Brown's one of the greatest speakers of all time, spoken in front of tens of thousands of people. And he really knew what to say to make me feel good, and instant rapport. So if you're speaking in a small group or a group, go ahead and meet people before you get introduced on stage, so you have cheerleaders in the audience, yes, and you break the ice personally. So that's a critical, because I think a lot of people sometimes when they first get into speaking, they get a big head and say, I'm a speaker, and that means I'm above people. And the truth is, we're all human beings, and we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, and no one's better than anyone else, and we just have different skill sets, talents, and experiences. So if you treat it that way, you really connect with your audience. So actually those three are very powerful, that I got to take that and put into my events, because I think it's probably one of the best times I've shared that knowledge in terms of connection, the 1, 2, 3 steps.
Yes, that is very powerful. Lastly, how important, if you're coaching somebody, how important is it to be coachable?
It's extremely important for both parties. As a client, you extremely have to be coachable, and that you have to be open to receiving. And as a coach, if you're a coach and you're not coachable, because there are some coaches I've met who aren't coachable, you're being incongruent and you're not walking the walk. If you're a coach and you're not getting coached yourself, there's a reason why you're not. That's the primary reason why you're not getting coaching. And in general, as you grow, you rarely ever get paid more than what you're willing to pay yourself. And so being coachable is critical. There is one key thing to notice, is there's a point of being coachable and accepting and trying new things. Sure, that's extremely important. But here's the one key distinction, and this is about your genius and your purpose, is that regardless of who tells you what is the advice, it could be a billionaire, it could be a so-called guru. If it doesn't feel right inside, you have to trust that beyond anything else, because that's what's been given to you since you were born. And most of the greatest ideas in history have been thought to be crazy at first. Like Christopher Columbus saying the world is round. That was crazy at first. And so you might have one of those ideas that even your mentors and coaches will think could be crazy at first. But if they tell you to do something, but internally there's one thing of being stubborn, right? There's one thing of being stubborn, but if it truly feels it goes against who you are and it's not aligned, you got to trust that beyond anything else. And even with my clients, I say, here, check in, and how does that feel? Does that feel right to you? Because if it doesn't, it's not going to work. You can have the best plan in the world, but if it doesn't feel right and it's not aligned to who you are, you're not going to give it your 100%. And because for success, you have to be 100%. There's so many people out there who are 90%, 95%, even 99%, but that 1% is what holds them back. One of the best quotes is, the difference between 99% and 100% is 100%. Because you're either complete or you're incomplete. You're either finished or you're not. And so that's the difference that makes the difference. And really, it's important to be coachable, to be a student. The best teachers are the best students. And also be able to listen to your own intuition, listen to your own gut feeling as well, and get the guidance on how to implement faster, better. The what is up to you. The how, get the coaching on the hows, right, and the execution implementation.
Right. Now you hear that, everyone. Listen to your intuition. That is some awesome advice. Now, Eiji, everyone knows when they interview with me, we have 3 trivial questions. Dum-da-dum-dum. You ready?
All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So the first one is there a book that you've read that either changed your life or changed how you do business?
Yeah, absolutely. The book that I read, and not too long ago, but a few years ago, was Who's Got Your Back? By Karriem. He is an authority on relationships, and it's Genius Squared to support. So if someone is looking to get more JV connections, it's important, like you, Aerica, on your team, to help them, guide them through the process. So what he suggests is to have a mentor, have a powerful peer group, which is what I call a lifeline relationships, of advisors, have a protege. So you mentor others while being mentored yourself. Okay. And so your back has been so, because it's really about widening your relationships, of knowing a lot of people. It's really about the key people, build deep relationships, so that when the crap hits the fan, you know who to call and they got your back.
That's right.
And creating my own mastermind programs, we have the mastermind program entrepreneurs, is the 4 qualities he shares, is the 4 mindsets of a powerful team. Number one, let's see here, which one, what order it is. I'll just in whatever comes up. Number 1 is generosity.
Okay.
You have to be generous and be wanting something back. It's vulnerability. You got to be real. You can't hide stuff among your team, because it's all that energy in hiding stuff takes more energy out of you instead of you just getting stuff done. Number 3 is candor, of being truthful and not sugarcoat things, and be able to tell the truth even when it's not something what they want to hear. If someone has dropped the ball or someone is not performing at their best, a true friend tells them that better than that. I know it, and it's time for you to. Number 4 is accountability. And it goes into all those pieces of holding them accountable and making sure they're true to their word and accountable to the team, accountable to themselves, to move them along so that they're on track. So Who's Got Your Back from Keith Ferrazzi, it's made a big difference, and it's still making an impact in my life as I grow my team and my organization with a worldwide impact.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna have to get that book, because I teach that also. It's not about the quantity; it's about the quality. So, absolutely, that is so right. It's about the quality of your people that you're with. So the next one is, if you could meet anyone, absolutely anyone in the world, who would that be?
If I could meet anyone in the world, it'd be Bono of U2. One, because I'm a huge music fan.
Okay.
I love his work, but also what he's done off the stage, the impact that he's making with working with Africa and AIDS, and also reducing the debt that African countries, but really like being able to be performing your passion and be a genius at what he does and make an impact entertaining, but also having the purpose, the stick-to-itness, the persistence, and the courage to work on social issues. I mean, he's been nominated several times for the Nobel Peace Prize, and you wouldn't expect that from a rock star. And he's also playing a role bigger beyond. He's using his influence and his genius in one area to impact in other areas, impact in world issues as a whole. So someone who I'd love to meet, I highly respect. Also, I'm a big fan of his music. I've been to a lot of his concerts in different countries and has seen him in the UK and all over the US. So I'd love to meet Bono from U2, just because, and also chat, because I think the impact he's made so far in the world and there's a lot I can learn from him.
Okay, Bono, you hear that? Okay, so Bono. Okay, and my last question is, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food. Yeah, it's weird. There's a lot of favorite foods, but
Okay.
I just love Mexican food in general. Grew up in California, and Mexican food in general, and just simple rice and beans and burritos and tacos. I love Mexican food. I love sushi as well. My family helped bring sushi over to America, but it's probably my go-to food is Mexican food and different things like that. So I love food in general. I mean, I love to travel and travel with my wife and go explore new restaurants, new cultures, new foods, and so I'm food is part of who I am growing up in the restaurant industry. So service has been always part of what I've been doing.
Well, that is wonderful. I love Mexican food also. So, how can my listeners or any of the listeners get a hold of you? What's your email, your contact? How do we get a hold of you?
Sure. So, definitely. If you want to get contact me, and also keep posted, I would go to authoritygenius.com. That's AUTHORITY, genius, GENIUS.com. You can opt in there and you'll get videos, a ton of cool stuff, keep updated. You can also reach me at my office number, which is 800-207-6199, especially if you have a big vision of changing the world, and those are the people who I love playing with. And email, you can email me at EIJI, which is my first name, at geniussquared.com. So GENIUSSQUARED.com. For those who want to speak, go to speakyourgenius.com, speakyourgenius.com, and there's so much I do, but I think those are the great ways. If you want to get to know more, you can make sure you go to Authority Genius, just so you keep posted. I throw out some videos and stuff like that, and really cool content. So, and feel free if you want to chat and call my offices as well.
Okay, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eiji. So, Eiji, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Definitely a lot of fun.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. My name is Aerica Karriem, your joint venture connection coach. I'm at www.makingmillionswithjvpartners.com. Again, that's www.makingmillionswithjvpartners.com. Until next time.